Recently, I heard about a Dr. John Nash. He was a professor of mathematics from Princeton University. He was actually a Nobel Prize winner in economics. Quite amazing. Interestingly enough, he suffered from a disease called schizophrenia. And he thought in his mind that communists were over wanting to take his life and pursuing him. And thanks to his wife, he was rehabilitated. Now, it took many years. Now, here's an interesting story. At the Nobel Prize ceremony, he gives a speech and he asked the question of what is the summation of all mathematical equation? And this is what he answered. He said it was love. And of course, during that time, he thanked his wife for all the support, the empowerment, the security, and the life that she had given him. Interestingly enough, after the speech, they both leave, and in the hallway, he has an attack, a schizophrenic attack. Now, this is, remember, at the pinnacle of his career. And this attack takes over him. Now, his wife knew that there was something wrong, and she asked him, "Is everything all right?" Of course, nothing was all right. He was being literally taken over in his own mental sickness. And he says, "Yes, everything is perfect." And then they walked out together. Now, what happened? At that moment, he was able to identify of what was the demon and what was the human being within himself. And he decided not to allow himself to be defined by the forces, but by himself. And that he defined himself. So rather than to give himself the luxury that he defines those forces, he would rather, in this case, that the forces defining him were not acceptable to him. So the challenge is not that one has voices. It's not slavery, you should know. What slavery is that they define me rather than I define them. In your own life, are you a slave to your own mind that tells you what to do? Or do you define yourself? You have the option at any given time to make that decision. Now, it may be harsh to say that this professor, this doctor, was a schizophrenic, and that was truly a disease, a debilitating disease at that. But in our own lives, we have similarities. Do we let the forces that entice us to do things which are improper define us, or do we define them? Are we in charge, or are they in charge? Think about that. You must define yourself.
If you like what you've heard, please let us know by leaving a comment below. We would really appreciate if you would be kind enough to like, share, and even subscribe. Feel free to follow us on Facebook.